Another year, another Summerween, and this will be, I think, the 5th year in a row where I've been taking part in Summerween. So 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So my 6th year. That's actually really special to me because I don't think I've taken part in a readathon for that long, like ever. Oh my god. Anyway, Summerween is hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. It is essentially reading spooky books on the summer, and that is what we're going to do today and for the rest of the week as well, because we are going to be doing 3 vlogs for this. I will be vlogging daily, but episode 1 is going to be this one, and we will be covering the first 3 days of Summerween, and then vlog 2 will cover days 4 and 5, and then vlog 3 will cover days 6 and 7. And I really do love this time of year so much. Last year I did fall into a reading slump, so I do apologise if my Summerween vlogs from last year were not that good. Hopefully this year we can rectify that and just have a fantastic Summerween. So thank you again, Gabby, for hosting such a wonderful readathon. I have just made myself a homemade pumpkin spice oat milk cappuccino, and I'm just so ready to get into it. So if you end up enjoying this video, please do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, use any channel high points that you have as well. Do check out Gabby as well. I will have Gabby linked down in the description box. But I do have a plan for this vlog and for the rest of Summerween too. So I like to do things a little bit differently, just a little bit. And I thought this year I would like to do a little bit of an eras tour of horror again. So a few years ago I did do an eras tour of horror where I read books that were published between 1900 and 1909, and I didn't really pursue that series, but I did think, oh, you know what would be really cool is if I did a little bit of an eras tour of horror for Summerween, and then I will do like each vlog a different decade of horror. So this vlog will be the 70s. So welcome to the 70s. I am so excited to actually like read horror from the 70s because I don't think I've ever read horror books from that period. I might have read something like I don't know when Psycho was published, or The Exorcist. I have read The Exorcist, but there's like quite a lot of 70s like vintage horror that I know about, but I just haven't read. And have you ever seen Grady Hendrix's Paperbacks from Hell book? I've not actually read it myself, but it does have a lot of vintage classic horror covers in it. And then they started to reprint those books with the original covers years and years and years ago. And when I was in Sleepy Hollow last year with Gabby, there were quite a few of those books available to buy from the Sleepy Hollow bookstore, and I did buy a few. Two of these that I'm about to talk about are not books that I purchased while I was there, but I did want to read like the ones that were published in the 70s. So I have 3 books here that were published in the 70s. I might not get into all 3 of them in the next like 3 days because, well, 1, there are no audiobooks for any of these, I don't think. 2, the writing is quite small. The writing is actually very small, so I'm going to have to lock in over the next few days. I think I might end up completing 2 of these, and maybe I might be able to cram in the 3rd one, but if I don't, that's fine. But yeah, the 3 books I would like to read in day 1 through 3 of Summerween are Killer by Peter Tonkin. And yeah, one of the reasons why I really did want to do this was because I genuinely do love like older book covers. I love that. I love that so much. And then we also have The Auctioneer by Joan Samson. Also try and get that one in shot as well. I will explain what these books are about when I get to reading them. The Spirit by Thomas Page. This one I did buy while I was in the Sleepy Hollow bookstore, but I'm not gonna lie, like out of the ones that I have from the 70s, this is probably like the one that I'm the least excited about. I mean, well, definitely probably end up getting to that, you know, maybe in this, you know, next few days. But I think the 2 that I really want to focus on first are Killer and The Auctioneer. I really do want to read these ones first, but the thing is, like, which one do I actually start with? Killer is a little bit bigger. Killer is 265 pages. Look at the font though. Like, the font is quite small if you ask me. And then The Auctioneer is 235 pages. Okay, that's not too bad, but again, like the font is incredibly small. So yeah, these could end up taking me a little bit of a while. But yeah, today is Friday, July 3rd, which is the official kickoff for Summerween. So this vlog will be covering Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Now, I don't really have any prior commitments this weekend. I don't even have any live shows either, which is very rare for me to not have live shows in a weekend. But last weekend was quite busy. I did Gameathon. I was taking part in the Tarot Readathon. I was a co-host for it. So there've been quite a lot of live shows and sprints last month in June. So it's nice to be able to just like kind of calm down a little bit, you know, calm down a little bit. So that's why I don't really have anything going on this weekend. That might change. I might fancy doing some last minute sprints at some point. But then again, I'm like, but Gav, you can have a break, you know? You don't have to like be live 24/7. And you know what? I agree with myself. I do. I agree with myself. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be doing the 70s horror books in this video. I hope you do end up enjoying that kind of style for Summerween this year. I will keep this spoiler light as well. I don't really think I'll be delving into really big, grand spoilers for these books in all of my Summerween vlogs. But, you know, I am reading some nostalgic vintage horror. So I might try and go maybe a little bit deeper into some of the things that happens in these books. So just bear that in mind going forward. I will let you know. I will give you a warning, a heads up, just in case you do fancy reading one of these books. And I'm like, okay, I actually think this might be a spoiler, but I want to talk about it, so I'll put a spoiler thing on the screen. Will that help? Okay, maybe that will help. There are prompts for Summerween as well, but as always, I usually just ignore them and do what I want. So I do apologize, Gabby. Love you the most. I know you would let me do this. So yeah, bon appetit. I have just heated up my meal from Fuel Hub, which is what I use all the time. It helps me with my health goals. And this is the peppercorn chicken with garlic new potatoes, button mushrooms, and asparagus. It's the first time I'm trying it. Cannot freaking wait. Need to cool down a little bit first. If you want to try it, if you put my name in the referral part, Gavin Hetherington, you will get £10 off. I'll get £10 off. This is not sponsored. But just so I'd let you know. Anyway, I have decided I want to start with Killer by Peter Tonkin. I fancy a creature feature. I do. Because when I think of the 70s, I think of like Jaws. Oh my gosh, right. So as well, right, we just need to talk a little bit. I've decided as well that I'm going to try and watch a horror film from the decade that I'm like reading from each day. And last night I thought I'd get a little head start. So I wanted to watch The Town That Dreaded Sundown, and I've never seen that before. That came out in the 70s. I turned it off. I turned it off after like 52 minutes. I wasn't enjoying it. I really wasn't. It was kind of painful to watch. Like the acting was kind of terrible. And then the friggin' killer pulled out a trombone. That was when I turned it off. I was like, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting so silly. I couldn't stop laughing. I might try and finish it off today. I'm not gonna lie. I only got maybe like 35, 40 minutes left of it. I may finish it off. But last night I was like, I can't be doing this. Genuinely can't be doing this. So I'm so sorry to anyone who loves them. The Town That Dreaded Sundown from the 70s. And yeah, I usually do like horror films from the 70s. I love Halloween, love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think I've actually seen the original Black Christmas. But there's like other 70s horror movies that I might try and like fit in this like next few days. And then do like the 80s horror movies and some 90s horror movies. But I want to do all ones that I've never seen before. I don't want to rewatch the ones that I've already seen and loved. Like I love Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as I've said. But like watching new to me 70s horror movies. So actually there's one called Alice, Sweet Alice that I keep seeing popping up in people's like favorite 70s horror films lists that I've actually been watching the past couple of days. I've actually been searching on YouTube, you know, best horror films of the 70s, and people have been saying Alice, Sweet Alice a few times. I'm like, I've never even heard of that one. I don't think so anyway. I want to watch it. Someone ended up watching it. So yes, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. Killer is going to be my first read for Summerween. This book actually came out in 1979, and it follows 5 men and apparently 1 beautiful woman. That's making me feel a little bit, I don't know. Like, why is it 5 men and 1 beautiful woman? You know what I mean? It's like, is she going to be objectified? Is she going to be, you know, I don't want to like be that woke friend, but I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. We're already off to an interesting start. But they are marooned on a floating island of Arctic ice, and they have all of the equipment they need to battle the ice and like the cold and stuff. However, a killer whale comes along and they are not ready for this killer whale. Apparently it's relentless, terrifying, chilling, as good as Jaws, apparently. And hey, as I mentioned, like Jaws, I love Jaws. I think it's a great horror film, and that came out in the 70s. I've read the book of Jaws as well. I did not like the book, but love the horror movie. It gave me nightmares when I was a kid. Couldn't sleep for weeks because of that opening scene of Jaws. So I'm hoping that we get something similar with Killer. I hope it's just as good, maybe even like a better book than the book of Jaws. Oh, and look at that. There's a map too. There is a map. Ooh, there is a prelude. And amazing. It starts on page 15. So we've already knocked 15 pages off. I haven't even started. And we've already knocked 15 pages off. Love that. There is an introduction by Grady Hendrix to begin with. I'm not going to read any of the introductions because I don't want that to spoil the book for me. So I might read the introductions afterwards. But yeah, let's get into my first read of Summerween. Actually, first, let's eat. Let's eat first. And then let's get into my first read of Summerween 2026. Who's come to visit? It's our gorgeous girl, Luna. Hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. You look like the cat from Pet Cemetery. Yes, you do. Do you want some food? I'll get you some food. I know this has absolutely nothing to do with Summerween, but I've been really enjoying the new Camp Rock 3 song, One Beat Away. I am quite excited for the new Camp Rock film. I think it comes out this month. Wait, no, I think it comes out next month. And yeah, I've been listening to the song. I need to stop. I need to stop. But anyway, I have gotten 87 pages into Killer. I have my son Ash just in his little box there as well. Hello, Ash. I love you. I love you. Are you tired? Same, actually. I was reading this and I started to feel my eyes getting really heavy. And not that this is like boring or a bad book or anything. It's actually been quite exciting. I think I'm enjoying this so far. It's playing like a B horror movie in my head. And it's kind of like really captivating at the minute. I've only read 3 chapters in, well, 4 technically. I'm on chapter 4, but there was a prelude. And yeah, the chapters have been quite long. Apart from chapter 2, I think chapter 2 was quite short. But it's really interesting because chapter 2 was more the perspective of like the whales kind of thing. I need to explain myself. So in the prelude, we actually find out that the killer whale that is going to be the antagonist of the story was actually sort of raised by, you know, like the military. They understand that the family Delphinidae, is that like the family of dolphins? I think. I'm not like very smart when it comes to like the scientific side of this. It has been quite technical a lot of the times. It reminds me a little bit of like Jurassic Park, just by the fact that Jurassic Park had a lot of like scientific research and a lot of like those technical terms. And this one is definitely feeling very similar to that. But yeah, we are at this base, like the prelude is at this base, and they are talking about the fact that they can teach or like train a killer whale to attack all but a certain color of diving suit or like things like that. Like they can really weaponize killer whales. And it's something that, you know, when you're just like, do humans never learn? Do humans never learn? Whenever they think that they are in control, usually nature proves them wrong. And that's exactly what the prelude exhibits. It exhibits the theme of man losing control, thinking they have power over Mother Nature and like beasts of the natural world. And it's just so comical, like how much it blows up in their face by the end of the prelude. Like it really is. I can really see this as like the opening of a horror movie. You know, like sometimes when there's like a death or some kind of exciting sequence to kick off a horror film, this actually really does feel like it's like a good way of doing that. A little bit like Jaws in a way. And it's so sinister too because yeah, they're talking about like how killer whales are like very good at hiding, or at least like this one is, and they're watching through the monitors. And Harper, who is like one of the people working on, you know, training these killer whales, he was watching us back. He knows which monitors are on because the cameras have red lights. And it's kind of like, okay, the killer whale has adapted to knowing like human technology and what to expect from humans, because humans can be very predictable, you know. And so yeah, I wrote here, it was like very Jurassic World / Park. You know, in Jurassic World, the dinosaur that they make, it kind of feels a little bit like that, a little bit. But you know what? It really does show you so quickly how stupid humans are. Like really, genuinely so bad. That idea of like man making a monster and then it instantly biting you in the back, biting you, biting you in the back, biting you in the ass. Although it's not the ass that was bitten, let me tell you. So that was actually like a really cool, exciting opening to the story, because like will people ever learn? Will man ever learn? Will humans ever learn? No, there's just too much human arrogance. And so I like the fact that that was the prelude. It was like its own little thing. And then we meet Kate. Kate is the one beautiful woman that is mentioned on the back. And I'm actually a big fan of Kate. I am. So she has applied to be someone's assistant under the name of Elizabeth Edwards. And it turns out the person that she is applying to be the assistant for is her father. And so she's using this alias as a way of like getting to see her father, because like her father is not a great father. He's been very absent. He is like a bit of an explorer, a bit of a scientist, and he has been off doing these things and she hasn't seen him in a long time. And even at her mother's funeral, like her father kind of flinched when he saw her because he didn't quite recognize her. Like that's the kind of father he is. So I'm actually kind of excited to see if there's any cool exploration between like father and daughter in this. And I was really worried as well, wasn't I? Because I thought, oh, maybe because she's the only woman there, that it will mean, you know, she's been ogled at and there will be a lot of sexist things said to her and a lot of objectification. So far that hasn't been the case. It could still happen, but like the story just like kicks off like so quickly. Like she goes and she answers this ad in the paper and she meets her father and he's like, wait, what are you doing here? I'm supposed to be meeting Elizabeth. And Kate is like, no, I'm Elizabeth. And he's so dumb. He's so dumb. He doesn't get it. It was a little bit comical. But yeah, we meet some of the team. And some of the team, like, the story between the characters, I'll not delve into too much. But there's, like, a really interesting thing between a couple of the characters. One of the characters is Inuit. And this book does use outdated language around that, though. So bear that in mind going into this. This was written in the 70s, I believe. So, like, it was using more, like, outdated, problematic language around Inuit people. So bear that in mind. This is not a bad depiction of the Inuit character though, because the Inuit character is actually like one of my favorite characters so far. Like him and Kate, I think are, and they're being depicted like really well. But anyway, yeah, sorry. We meet this like small crew of people who need to go to Alaska to do like this research. And yeah, like they've gotten on a plane and this plane has now crashed. It's crashed, which is, it's been very exciting. It's been very detailed as well. Like, as I say, I'm only 3 chapters in. I'm on chapter 4. And, like, quite a bit has happened. And the whole plane sequence was quite drawn out. I don't know if I fully love that, though. It was very, again, like, technical. I feel like it did delve into a lot of the details quite well. But I feel like it just went on a little bit too long, you know? But hey, it feels very realistic, which is good. And then, yeah, the other thing is I don't know if this is going to continue moving forward, but there was like a shorter chapter 2 where it was kind of like the perspective of the whales. And you know how like that killer whale is the antagonist? Well, we see the killer whale kind of leading a pack in chapter 2 and they are killing this blue whale. And that was quite drawn out as well. And it shows you like the brutality of nature. And you know how like natural sea creatures, that's just like their way of living. You know, it's like the food chain, but it's still like very gnarly and just brutal, absolutely brutal. So yeah, I don't really have like very many bad things to say about this, to be quite honest. I was a little bit unsure to begin with because I feel like some of the sentence structures were really clunky, but you know what? It has been pretty interesting so far. And I have kind of enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing how we continue on, especially with how ominous and how sinister it would be to be hunted by a killer whale. That's just kind of like in the distance and in the sea almost. And you see in the distance like with its pack as well. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And yeah, Ali is currently doing sprints on Twitch. So I'm going to watch Ali right now. And she's just started a sprint now actually, which is perfect timing. Yeah, I was starting to feel a little bit tired. I was like, oh, should I nap? Should I nap? I kind of want to get to maybe the 150 page mark. Okay, maybe up to chapter 7 because that's page 146. So that would be cool to get up to this point today. And then maybe watching another 70s horror movie. Maybe that could be good. Maybe order in as well. It would be quite nice to potentially celebrate the kickoff of Summerween by ordering in some food. Not sure what I would want. Maybe some Chinese food. I haven't had Chinese food in a week or two. And I feel like I earned it. I feel like I deserve it. So why not? Also, my cats are settled now as well. They did wake up for some food. And now, yeah, they've gone straight back to sleep. I might join them. I might just have 20 minutes where I lie down and just close my eyes. I feel like that's just what I need. My eyes are starting to feel a little bit dry. So Summerween naps might be on the cards on day 1. Oh, girls, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I did make it to page 146. And I'm literally falling asleep. I feel like I need to eat, but I need to eat like a king. And so I do think I'm going to order Chinese. I do. And I just want to watch a film now. I do. I want to watch a 70s film. But anyway, I'll talk about the last several chapters that I've just read. Quite a lot has happened again. This is a story that has not yet let up. There was a really weird moment though. There really was with Kate. I mean, I could see it coming a mile away. So yeah, there's like a lot of being attacked. There was this whole scene with like a polar bear attacking and people being in danger, like the killer whales are like literally right there. They are surrounded by them and they can easily get through the ice if they wanted to. So they're being attacked at all angles, essentially. And Kate has to jump. So Kate, she threw herself forward into Simon Quick's arms. In the air, over the black, threatening water, her mind was filled with one thought. She had broken the straps on her bra. And as he caught her through all the clothes they were wearing, in spite of the tension of the moment, Quick felt the firm fluidity of her breasts. Of course. Of course. We have our one female protagonist, and during this really intense scene, like her father's been in danger as well, like really bad danger. I won't like spoil character fates or anything, but yeah, she's thinking about her bra. It kind of read a little bit like fan service, you know, like how in anime, sometimes you would have, you know, the female protagonists have these massive jahubis, and it would just be fan service, essentially. That's what that felt like. But there's not been like that many moments where she's been objectified, which honestly I was expecting a whole lot more. So I'm taking them in as they come. And I will say though that the action of this is still very exciting. It has not let up. There was a recent death that was quite gnarly, and like they were like split in two kind of thing, and the legs were still kicking. Oh, that was rough. And I do like a lot of the descriptions as well. More of the environment, more of the atmosphere, rather than the characters themselves. Because yeah, it's incredibly isolating. They can see the killer whales in the distance. There's all of this ice. There's like a ghost berg as well, like an iceberg that's kind of like hollow or like getting hollow. And there's just all these like great descriptors. Oh, and major Moby Dick vibes as well. I love that we have Job. Job is the Inuit character. And it says he was Ahab with two good legs, and this was his Moby Dick. And I'm still in the middle of Moby Dick. I still need to finish it. I will. I will eventually. Oh yeah, the killer came out of nowhere. And also, I love the fact that, because it is a killer whale, the killer came out of nowhere. It doesn't say whale, it just says killer. And a lot of times that happens. And I just think the name of a killer whale in general is just a terrifying thing. So to just hear about the killer coming, the killer is watching, the killer is hunting them, it just sounds like it's personified this animal that really shouldn't be doing what it's doing, but because of, you know, the prelude and the experiments and the training and stuff, it's obviously made it hungry for human blood, which honestly, it's so ridiculous. It really is. But I'm really eating it up. I really am, actually. Yeah, there was the sobbing of the wind and the guy rope supporting the tent. The waves lapped at the distant edges of the ice floe. The water made tinkling sounds like tiny streams moving against the ice beneath his head. And beyond that, deep in the heart of the ocean, squeaks and clicks, gratings and groans, sobbing songs and long bubbling cries. So, you know, you're in the middle of the ocean here. You can see ice all around you, pretty much. Like, it's just so isolating, and it's just great. I love that setting. I love that environment so much. But yeah, I mean, I will say, I don't really love characters outside of like Kate and Job. The other ones, I'm kind of just like waiting to see how they meet their end, how they meet their grisly end. I'm rooting for it. So yeah, I have about 120 pages to go. I'll finish it tomorrow. I'm just starting to fall asleep a little bit. So I think I need to order food because I am hungry. And we'll watch Alice, Sweet Alice. I do think I can rent it because I don't own it. I could rent it. And that's just the one I'm fancying. I'm fancying it. Oh, I might finish The Town That Tried to Sundown first. We might as well finish it. And then maybe like the 35 minutes it takes to watch that, hopefully the food will come, and then I can really settle down for Alice, Sweet Alice. I'm sure that's what it's called. Yeah, Alice, Sweet Alice. It came out in 1976. It's about a 12-year-old girl, Alice, who suffers due to her mother's ignorance, who gives more attention to Karen, her younger sister. She becomes a prime suspect when Karen is brutally murdered. Oh, and it has Brooke Shields in it. So yeah, that sounds like a plan. And yep, my local Chinese is open. So I think I am going to get the sweet and sour chicken Hong Kong style. It's my go-to. It is. Okay, I ended up ordering the crispy shredded chicken with Cantonese sauce and egg fried rice and salt and pepper chili chips. And I'm waiting for it to come. Still hasn't come yet. I have just finished The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Pile of shite. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hated it. That was the original one. I know there's a remake, But I haven't seen that one, and I'm so sorry to anyone who enjoys the original, the Town That Dreaded Sundown. I thought it was so bad. I'm sorry. I thought it was so bad. However, right, so I don't want to watch Alice Sweet Alice to continue this 70s horror movie marathon in like watch a new one each night. But also in the UK, the season 2 finale of The Pit has finally aired. And I just remembered that now. And I'm gonna watch the season 2 finale of The Pit right now. I've been waiting so freaking long for it. Oh my gosh. And then hopefully my food should come as I'm watching this. And then we can finally watch Alice Sweet Alice. Okay, so fingers crossed I enjoy Alice Sweet Alice. I do not want another bad 70s horror film.
I don't know why. It could be sleep deprivation, new job stress.
Oh my god, it's here. This will definitely be way too much, but we'll just put the rest in the microwave. It's fine. Maybe I shouldn't be having anything to eat while I'm watching The Pit. It's already been quite gnarly. Ash, Tobu, I'm gonna go and read in Costa. I'm gonna go to a cafe and read there because you're both doing me fucking head in. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're both annoying the shit out of us this morning. What you done to my Winifred Sanderson costume, eh? Huh? What you been doing? Honestly. Yeah, I've decided I'm going to go to Costa this morning. It is currently 9:30 a.m. I've just been watching Adam McIntyre on Twitch as he was wrapping up some Joshua David Evans shit. So we're going to be... Oh, hello, beautiful. Well, I'm going to be going to Costa now to finish off Killer because I still have just over 100 pages to go. So hopefully I finish it there. I did finish watching Alice Sweet Alice last night. And you know what? I kind of liked it. I did. I quite liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It definitely better than The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It was more like I guess like a thriller mystery in a way, more than anything else. And it was just different. It was a little bit strange, definitely a little bit strange. And sometimes you do need to get used to the filming style and the acting of movies like that, like The Landlord in that film. His acting was proper like pantomime villain. And it was just like so bad and so random. But like other than that, I thought it was a good story. And I definitely enjoyed it more than The Town That Dreaded Sundown. So we need to find another 70s horror movie to watch tonight that I haven't seen yet. Hopefully I get to finish Killer. And then we can start my next book. Yeah, so it'll be really nice. So I'm going to have a walk down. It is currently cloudy. And it looks like it might rain a little bit, but I'm still wearing like shirts and shorts. Hopefully the blue and the green go okay together. I did just wear these yesterday as well. Look, they're still clean. They're still clean. They smell lovely. I didn't even really leave the house yesterday after going to training in the morning and having a shower, okay? So I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm going to take my book. Don't know where it is. Oh, it must be in the kitchen. And yeah, gonna have a lovely little coffee sesh and gonna read somewhere else. It has been a while. It has been such a while since I just sat and read in a cafe. Honestly, I haven't really done that in a cheeky little minute. Time to say, oh, now it's like nearly 10:15. Oh no, oh, she's there again. The stray cat is there again. Watch this. Watch this. Hello, gorgeous girl. Hello, gorgeous girl. Yeah. Yeah, she's there. She's there. She's waiting for her food. Okay, I'm gonna have to feed her first. Just, you know what? I love the way she's just like lying there, just already knowing that she's gonna get food. Like she's expecting it. She's just patiently waiting. So hopefully I do get a good seat in Costa. Like the longer I leave it, the less chance I'm going to get, but looks like we have to feed my third child. Oh my god, I'm surrounded by pussy. Hello, beautiful. I've never seen you before. Hello. There is a collar on this one, so this one does have an owner. Hello, beautiful. Is this your new friend, Ash? Hello. Hello. Oh, you're so cute. Hiya. I don't know what it is, but I'm just reeling in the pussy. Oh, Tobu's come to see as well. Tobu's come to see too. I know the grass needs cut. But look, we only did it a couple of weeks ago. Do we think I should wear my Game-a-thon cap today because the pink goes so good with the blue? Do we think I should wear this today? I don't usually like wearing caps like this, but recently I've actually not minded that much. How are we feeling? How do we feel about this? It's fine. We can do it without a cap. Okay, I'm walking to Costa. It'll take about 15 minutes. And it started to rain. And I'm still in shorts, t-shirt. I mean, it's just like light drizzle right now, but still, it's not good. It's not good. As soon as I leave the house as well, without a coat, without anything on to protect me from the rain. But it's still like quite warm, so that's why I'm out here in t-shirts and shorts, but... I managed to get back before the rain got worse, so I came back relatively dry, and I did finish Killer while I was in Costa. And like this is very good when it focuses on the creature feature part of it. There were definitely some things that I wasn't expecting when it comes to like some of the attacks. Absolutely. It was like this really scary moment when they're in the tent and then the head of the killer whale just like comes through like under the ice. Oh my god, like that was terrifying. But one of the main problems with this book is the fact that there are so many stretches of it where it is just pure boredom, and that is because the characters are bored themselves. Like they're on this thing for over 5 days. Over 5 days. And I feel this is the kind of story where it needs to be told in rapid succession. Like there can't be the droning on of some of the like slower parts of this, because the kind of situation they're in anyway, it is like a little bit unrealistic that they're there for about a week. You know what I mean? Like they're on this floating ice, the killer whales are there, and we can see like how big these killer whales are. And like you're telling me the killer whales are just waiting and biding their time and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyway, I do obviously have to suspend my disbelief anyway, because the whole premise is rather insane. But like I did enjoy the actual attacks, the moments, the deaths as well. Like that's really, really good. But yeah, even the characters are bored half the time too. And when the characters are bored, I'm bored. There was even a whole chapter dedicated to a backstory. And then, I shit you not, even the author says that whole backstory was boring. So at the start of chapter 9, after this whole backstory's been said and done, it had done no good, of course, telling them the story. He had not expected it to. Simon hadn't believed it, Kate hadn't understood, Warren hadn't cared, and Job already knew. A waste of time, an unnecessary and bitter humiliation with nothing settled, nothing solved, nothing exercised. And I'm like, same girl, same. Seriously, like, why did we even have that massive chapter anyway, where we really slow down the plot? We have a little bit more, I guess, you know, of an explanation on one of the characters and their backstory and things. But I'm just like, is that really like the most important thing as they're on this ice waiting to die? So yeah, I didn't like the fact that there were so many slow moments as well, because when the moments are really slow, it's really, really slow. And it just brings everything to a halt. So yeah, wasn't the biggest fan of that. Also, I love the fact that the first chapter I read when I was in Costa, Quick froze, fascinated by her breasts as they moved beneath the heavy layers of cloth. He stared unashamedly until she looked up. Like, that was like literally one of the first few pages I read when I was in Costa, and instantly I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. But I do love the fact that Kate actually calls him out. And even some of the other guys in the tent as well, they're like, oh, come on, time and place, but also eyes up here, you know what I mean? So nobody really stood for it, to be fair. Oh, yeah, page 157. The wheel's head filled the tent. Oh, God, like, yeah, there are some genuinely chilling moments. But anyway, yes, I have finished it now. I think I'm going to give it a 3-star and, like, 3.5, maybe? 3.5, no, 3. 3. I must say, I didn't really get it on with the majority of the characters. The whole father-daughter kind of dynamic didn't really go very far either. There was definitely moments of beautiful writing. I loved the atmosphere, the setting. Some of those really gnarly, horrific moments were great too. But yeah, I think just quite a lot of it drags it down from it being a 3.5 to a 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with a 3-star. Yeah. Yeah, maybe 3.5, no, 3. This is actually really hard to do. Anyway, I am editing this vlog as I go so that I can get it out, you know, like during Summerween. I think that's probably the best way of tackling daily vlogging and doing Summerween at the same time without falling behind. And also in just under an hour, the F1 qualifying is on for Silverstone. And that is my very first home race. Like, I wasn't an F1 fan this time last year, so I've never seen the England race before. So it's a pretty special one, so I'm going to have to watch the qualifying and then watch the race tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Again, rooting for Ferrari. I'm rooting for Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, even though Charles Leclerc is doing horrendously this season. And I'm definitely rooting for Lewis Hamilton more as the races are going on. So there is that. I feel really gutted to say that, but it's the truth. And then, yeah, I'm going to read the next book that I need to read, which I will get to first. I'm going to edit, watch the F1, and then we'll decide what I'm reading next. Okay, the qualifying is over. Ferrari did pretty well, so I'm pretty happy. Yeah, we'll see how the race goes tomorrow. But anyway, let's get back to Summerween, shall we? I'm going to start The Auctioneer by Joan Samson. And I believe Stephen King was inspired by this when he was writing Needful Things. And I have read Needful Things and I quite like it. So it'll be interesting to see what the inspirations of that were. There must be some kind of auctioneer. The summary on the back is so vague. It's like a tiny paragraph that literally tells you pretty much nothing. It says harrowing tensions explode in a series of events that could happen anywhere to anyone, just as they do to John Moore, whose days of freedom run out, who is stripped of his possessions, his courage, and his hopes by the ominous presence of a stranger impossible to resist. So yeah, not really a whole great deal there. And I believe this came out in 1975. So we are still in the 70s. I haven't yet picked the movie I want to watch tonight. I believe there is a horror movie called Orca, which I don't think the book that I just read, Killer, inspired, but it is about a killer orca whale, I believe. So Orca film. I don't know if it came out in the 70s though. 1977. Okay. And it is a horror adventure. The film follows a male orca tracking down and getting revenge on a fishing boat and its captain for unintentionally killing the whale's pregnant mate and their unborn calf. Oh, well, I'm on the orca's side. It was a minor box office success, but received mostly unfavorable reception from critics and audiences alike due to its similarities to Jaws, which released 2 years prior. Cast Richard Harris. Oh, Richard Harris. Okay. Is Orca available to stream? Okay, no, it's not. It is not available for me to stream anywhere. I'm going to look into it. I'll see, because I'm going to have to rent it. I'm going to have to pay money for it. And I don't kind of want to do that. I want to see what I can get available to stream. Horror movie-wise from the 70s. Maybe there's a much better one that I can watch. We'll see. So yeah, I'll probably chill in my bedroom, start reading The Auctioneer.
So Antonia is there just to try and spend some time with Heather. Heather is there to try and track down her boyfriend who went to Almondy 6 months ago and never returned. He told her he'd be back after 2 weeks. She tried to warn him, don't go, bad things happen. Nobody ever returns from Almondy. He did not return that, but that is her reason for going and inviting the other 2 women. So far, I'm really enjoying the writing of this. It's a good mix between like fever dream, I have no idea what's going on, and then like more set, grounded in reality sections where I can follow. You know, I like when a book is a little strange and confusing.
It's always someone else's fault. Oh, absolutely. That snap cost me my livelihood. You took my response, made a video blasting it. That's crazy. He did not do that. He was extremely well thought out, kind in his video, even though he had real issues with you that were completely valid.
Right, I am only 43 pages into The Auctioneer, and this is already going to be so different to the Killer book that I just read, because this is definitely a lot more character driven and community driven as well. And I'm really starting to see why Stephen King was inspired by this for Needful Things. If that claim is correct, I believe it is. I have Googled, and a few people have told me that's the case. But yeah, we are predominantly following the Moore family, and they live in this, small community, and it sounds like this community has fallen on hard times. There was apparently like a murder about a year before, and maybe that's kind of affected how, tourists come through or how people perceive this place. However, there is a guy called Pearly Dunsmore. Is a Pearly Dunsmore, and he is an auctioneer who's come out of town, and he is sort of changing things around a little bit. He is, doing these auctions, and he's selling people's shit, and he's just so charming and so personable. The way that he talks to people, nothing scary has happened so far, but I'm really starting to see sometimes I don't think there's anything scarier than a man who appears charming and you kind of know that there's going to be some shady shit beneath the surface. You just know that. And, I've had my run-ins with men like that too. When they seem so nice, when they seem so personable and charming. I already have my own personal Pearly Dunsmore, let me tell you. But yes, I am really liking the fact that there is a bit of a community of people. And the fact that, say at this auction, for instance, we have, something selling, and Pearly shouts, sold for $30 to the little woman who knows a bargain when she sees one. And then Sam says, who don't know when she's been had. It's just it feels like there is a community there. And I mean, there's more examples than that. That's just one spoiler-free example of kind of the community building and the kind of humor between people in the way that they can just rib each other a new one if they want to and comment on other people's decisions and things like that. So I'm looking forward to exploring more there and also seeing where the horror can come into it too. It does really seem like maybe Pearly is going to start playing to their needs. And, he sees a community that is in desperate need of change, and he's going to take advantage of that. I feel that. And again, maybe I can feel that a little bit too too well. And it's so funny as well because the Do We Know Them podcast has just uploaded another episode, and they do talk about Joshua David Evans leaving the internet, then coming back and then leaving the internet. So I have just watched that before I've given you my little review of the start of this book. And I have less than 200 pages. This is shorter than the book I just read. So it will be really quick to get through. And I do think I'll save the rest of it tomorrow. It is now like 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. I've already finished the book. I've started the next one. I will finish this tomorrow. I still want to watch a film, a good 70s horror film, and all of that good stuff. So let me catch you up on things that have happened in the last like few hours. Oh, I need to grab it. So guys, my pre-order of Heartstopper Volume 6 came. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get into this. It's so big. It is so big, but this is the last Heartstopper book. So yeah, my pre-order came. And the guy who delivered it, right? The guy who delivered it, I wonder if I can get it on my Ring doorbell. I'm sure you'll be able to hear it. I'm sure you'll be able to hear it. Here it is. Yeah, he says like, not every day I see a handsome lad open the door. To be fair, I was shirtless at the time because I was so hot. I was so hot. And it has been pretty hot today, I'm telling you. It's been very muggy. And yeah, he's like, not every day I see a handsome man open the door. And he looked us up and down. He looked us up and down. Oh my God. I don't think I can download that though. Can you download that? Let's see if you can hear it. Because I'm not making this up. I'm not saying this from my ego. Not every day I see a handsome man. Yes. And I was like, oh, cheers. Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know how to download this. Anyway, yeah, sorry. So he said that. That's just like, I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. But yeah, what was I saying as well? Oh yeah. Also today, I did end up saying there was a sale at DFS. And you know how I've been complaining about the sofa for like 3 years now? I've had the sofa for 3 years. After a couple of weeks, it's kind of sunken in. Like after only a couple of weeks. And it's been 3 years and this is so uncomfortable. I've had these cushions on it. These are like, you know, kitchen cushions, so like that you put on like kitchen chairs or like chairs outside, you know, things like that. I put it on here to make it more comfortable because it just sinks in. I can feel the bottom of the chair essentially, and it's just not comfortable. So I did go on the DFS website today, and they have a sale, and I have gotten a new sofa. Well, it's more like it's like a 2-piece recliner and an armchair recliner as well. So it's going to be smaller than this big thing. So hopefully that means I'll be able to fit my Christmas tree in here nicely as well this Christmas. And I don't know when that'll come. It says, oh, it could take up to a week or more. Like they need to get it all ready and stuff. So I don't know when it's coming. But I ended up doing that today, and I told my mum, and she was very excited because my mum's going to have this. I'm going to let my mum have this. She likes this sofa, so she can have it. I'm finally going to be able to have somewhere comfortable to sit in my living room. So yay, I'm so excited, I'm so happy. So yeah, anyway, sorry. I need to have a look at some iconic 70s horror films because I can't think of any off the top of my head. So 70 horror movies, let's say there's any that'll probably be good. Rotten Tomatoes, 100 best horror movies of the 70s. Jaws I've seen, Halloween I've seen. The Amusement Park, I've never heard of that before. Young Frankenstein I've never seen. Suspiria I've never seen. Alien I have. Carrie I have. I love Carrie. Nosferatu the Vampire? No. Invasion of the Body Snatchers? No. Don't Look Now? No. Dawn of the Dead? I don't know if I've ever seen the original Dawn of the Dead, but I love the remake. Picnic at Hanging Rock? No. House? No. Martin? Duel? No. Theatre of Blood? No. Abominable Doctor... The Omen I've seen. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage? Texas Chainsaw Massacre? The Exorcist I've seen. Guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm scrolling through these and I don't think I'm that interested in them. The original Salem Slot as well. I love the book. I've never seen the original movie. But I do kind of want to do a thing, maybe in a few years once I've read all the books, or maybe just like next year just as for fun. I don't want to go through like the Stephen King adaptations and do Gavin Watches All the King. You know how I do Gavin Reads All the King? So I'm kind of saving watching some of these Stephen King adaptations for the first time for that, if I end up doing that. I haven't even heard of half of these that I'm scrolling through right now, and I'm telling you, I don't really think I fancy any of them. Ooh, The Witch Who Came from the Sea. I love anything to do with witches. Never heard of it though. Okay, I'm still scrolling and nothing's even out of me. So I might try and watch a couple of YouTube videos of people recommending 70s horror films. I've already done that. The original Piranha. Alice Sweet Alice is there, number 76. I just watched that. The original Black Christmas. I guess I could watch the original. Yeah, I'll probably just, all the original Hills of Eyes I've seen. I'll see what people have said on YouTube. I trust a lot of people on YouTube. Last House on the Left, I don't think I've seen the original, but I've seen the remake. Yeah, that list kind of didn't help. Also, I feel like I might be getting something because whenever I swallow, my throat hurts a little bit. And usually when that happens, it means a cold is a brewing. And yeah, whenever I swallow, yeah, that hurt a little bit. I muted that so you couldn't hear it. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. Sometimes it goes away the next day and I'm like, okay, I didn't have to worry. So fingers crossed. And she's back for round 2. I have decided on Black Christmas. It's on YouTube. The full movie is on YouTube. So decided to watch that one. Came out in 1974. I've seen the remake. I've even seen the remake, the one that came out in like 2019 or around about then. But I've never seen the original. And I've also made myself a late night decaf cappuccino as well. Because I'm hoping that will help with my throat. Hopefully like having a hot drink. I mean, I'm sure like you could have like something with honey or like I'm sure there's other remedies and stuff. But look, cappuccinos, even decaf ones are my comfort. So hopefully this is what will help me. Also, I need to put that fan away. It's just in the way. And I haven't had to use it for like 4 days. Maybe 5 days. Ash, stop chewing. I haven't had to use it in like 4 or 5 days. And it was on constantly for like 2 weeks. Every single day. Constantly. And how the tides have changed already. Ash, what you seen? What are you looking at, Ash? You know what? Maybe those girlies on Reddit are right. Maybe I do post too much cat content.
Yes. Oh, look, Peter, don't cry. We can straighten things out. There's nothing to get so upset about. It's me, Billy.
Happy day 3 of Summerween. It is just after 11 a.m. and this is my 3rd cup of coffee. I again woke up at around about 7:30 a.m. I had my alarm on for 8. It is what it is. So I'm going to end up being like really tired later. I just know it. And I do have the F1 race at 3 p.m. So in just under 4 hours. So I want to get as much of the Auctioneer read as possible today. I haven't made any more progress since last night when I updated you. And I did end up watching Black Christmas. That was what I ended up choosing. And you know what? I much preferred it over the previous 2 movies that I watched. I liked Alice Sweet Alice. Didn't like The Town of Dreaded Sundown, but I really enjoyed Black Christmas. That shot of the killer's eye, oh my god, that actually like gave me chills. I actually checked every room in my house before I went to bed last night just to make sure that nobody was in it. Like it actually got me a little bit scared. Sometimes I think, why do I watch horror films or even like true crime documentaries as well on my own? It always gets me paranoid and it's so hard. Like, you know, living on my own. I know you're like, oh, Gavin, you're a grown-ass man, come on. But, like, still, I get scared too. I do. I've also been editing this morning as well, so I can, you know, keep on top of that. I'll try and edit the previous day, like, every morning. And, yeah, this is my 3rd coffee I edited, you know, with the 2 coffees that I had. So we are keeping on track. Absolutely keeping on track. And, yeah, I think I might sit in here, like, sit in the kitchen and read today. It's like I'm trying to find comfortable places to sit and there's just like not really very many places that's comfortable to sit in my house, which is again like why I've gotten this sofa, which I'm so glad I can now afford it. Cannot wait for it to come so you guys can see it as well. I doubt it'll come during Summerween as one might hope, but it'll just have to be in like the next reading vlog that I end up filming, whatever that might be. I'll have to show you there. Although I will say the kitchen chairs are quite comfortable. I will say that. Not for like long stretches of time, but it's fine. It's currently raining, so that'll be nice ambience to read. And yeah, let's get my last 70s horror book read. I really do doubt that I'll start The Spirit, I think the other one was called. I doubt I'll be able to start that and finish it today because I will be moving on to 80s horror tomorrow. So we need to get this done. Not long to go. This is actually the first time I've put on my Ferrari outfit because, you know, I have some good feelings today. I don't want to jinx it, but I do have some good feelings today for today's race. So that's going to start in about half an hour. So I do have the channel already ready to go. So let's talk quickly about the Auctioneer so far. So I actually was starting to give up on this a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I got to around about 130 pages in where I was like, I'm not sure about this one because yes, it has been a little bit creepy in the fact that this guy Pearly has come into this town and he's essentially taken people's things and these people feel like they don't have a choice and he's consistently taking and taking and taking until they have pretty much like nothing left. So like that idea itself is pretty scary, don't get me wrong. It's like, how much more can you take from me? How much more of my character in my history can you take from me? And like these people feel rather helpless. I've just realized there's something missing from my Titanic Lego. And so yeah, the idea that your identity is slowly being stripped from you and like your family history and all of that is taken from you as well. That's scary, absolutely. But then yeah, it got to around about page 130 and there was another auction. In this auction, I'm not going to spoil it, but this auction was actually very sinister. It was very sinister. And I did not know that was where it was going to go. But oh boy, oh boy, that last chapter I just read was great. It was actually great. So my faith has been restored. I'm currently 148 pages in, which means I have about 90 pages left, which I will finish after Silverstone. And I will most likely get it done in only like maybe a couple of hours. So I have not yet given up hope on this one. Hurley is still scaring me. He's giving pasta vibes and like pasta, my accent, not pasta as in the food, but like a pasta, a pasto, you know what I mean. Oh, the bidding, honestly, when you think on it, it's just really scary. You get to see Pearly's goal is slowly like really coming to fruition. And whatever that goal may be, I'll not say, but definitely improved. It has improved. I only found out as well that this was the author's, I think, first and only novel, because then the author passed away not long after this was published. Or maybe she passed away just before it was published from brain cancer, which is so sad. So sad. So yeah, it's a shame that she wasn't able to explore more of her, you know, her writing. I feel like her writing has been pretty good, actually. I would have been totally convinced that Stephen King wrote this just due to the character work, just due to the fact that these characters have said so much and they have so much history and backstory, and so they feel like real people. So I could have totally been convinced that Stephen King wrote this. But no, Joan Samson, I'm so sorry that you didn't get a chance to write any more books. I feel gutted about that. I genuinely do. But yeah, this one, the writing style of this one has been great. It has. It just hasn't been as exciting as I was hoping it would be. But hey, again, I still have like 90 pages left. That last chapter I read was great. We're heading in the right direction. Just like I hope Ferrari are heading in the right direction. I honestly have missed wearing this so much. Although my cats really hate these pants because they are a little bit noisy. Like you can really hear that as I'm walking, but that's fine. Pray for me that we have a good race because my heart cannot take any more disappointments. It really can't, especially when it comes to Charles Leclerc.
It's lights out and away we go for the British Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc got a very good reaction off the line. He's already ahead of Kimi Antonelli. Charles Leclerc leads from Hamilton.
I'm not getting my hopes up, but if we get a 1-2 Ferrari podium, even just like both Ferrari on the podium, no matter what position, I just want to see both of them on the podium, okay? But I'm not getting my hopes up. No, I'm not getting my hopes up. It's all going to go tits up, I just know it. This ain't going to last. It ain't going to last. And we've already got a yellow flag, what? Anyway, sorry, this is not Summerween, I apologise.
Just well, he didn't start in the pit lane, isn't it? Because Max and the Red Bull and the Ford Power Unit.
Oh my god, we might actually get a 1-2 Ferrari. Shut the fuck. Oh, sorry, I will calm down. 10 laps left. Charles Leclerc is number 1. Hamilton is number 2. If we get a 1-2 Ferrari, oh my god. Whew. Okay, that was really anticlimactic because there was a safety car, which meant that nobody could really overtake. Charles Leclerc won. It is my first win saying Charles Leclerc, I'm so happy. But also at the same time, like, that was so anticlimactic. That was so anticlimactic. And also double Ferrari podium. Okay, I'm going to shut up about the F1 now. But yeah, okay, bye.
A first visit to the top step of the podium for what is Ferrari's 250th Grand Prix victory.
I have managed to come down from my massive high of that F1 win today by finishing the Auctioneer, and this was fine. Like, it had that really great sinister scene, and don't get me wrong, most of this is very sinister, especially the implications of, you know, someone with power coming in and taking so much from, you know, people who like needed guidance or just like needed help, but someone took advantage of that. Again, like, I'm seeing so many parallels to my life. However, this is to a grander scale. And, you know, I mentioned this about Roadwork, which is by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. This one tackles a very similar theme of like modernity cropping up and kind of decimating sort of like the ideals and the values of like older families and things. This one I think deals with that, but much better. I did not like Roadwork. In fact, I think it's my least favorite Stephen King book of all time so far. And yeah, this did what Roadwork tried to do so much better. And I actually like really felt for like the families who are just like desperate, like they're desperate for change, but like they're having all of their things being taken from them and in all of that. So like my sympathies was with the characters 100%. And then you see, you know, it's kind of like the same with like politics and, you know, politicians coming in and saying that they're going to make a positive change. However, what they do is they take and take and take until those people who asked for help and needed help, they're left with nothing. And so, like, I felt that, like, that theme was so amazingly dealt with in this book. But, like, this was more like a quiet kind of horror, more like a real world kind of horror. Whereas Killer, the first book I read in this book, was like loud horror. You know, that was the gnarly, that was the bloody, that was the gory. Whereas this one was very subtle. It was very, very subtle. And just something that, you know, I feel like could potentially happen in the real world. Some of it definitely not. I feel like some of that influence and power, you do have to suspend your disbelief again, like a little bit. But like, yeah, it did a good job. It did a fine job. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. It is the same rating I gave Killer. And I like both of them in different ways. I'll grab Killer. I like these both in different ways. I like the loudness and the creature feature horror of this one, but I really like the character work in this one and how that ties into the real world. So yeah, I like both of these for totally different reasons. And one thing I kind of notice about these books is a lot of like arrogance, and I feel like maybe that's something that comes into the 1970s. Maybe this is something that the 1970s horror, maybe in America, because I believe both, are these both American? But I do know like a lot of like, say, horror movies, for instance, were exploring American politics at the time. You know, like when you watch 1970s horror and you say like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for instance, and the commentary on, you know, social politics in that film itself, you get the same thing here. I feel like human arrogance is, well, that's kind of like a connecting factor between these two 1970s horrors. How much power and influence people have over others, in how that can really bring a lot of like the other humans around them down. So I feel like that's what both of these kind of explored, and maybe a recurring theme and thread for the 1970s. So with that said, those are my 2 1970s books that I was going to read. Does mean I won't get a chance to read The Spirit, because I will be moving on to the 80s tomorrow. And I will end up reading this at some point as well. I, again, love the cover. Looks like this might be perfect to read during the winter. So this could be a good, like, little wintry read. It's talking about Bigfoot, the Yeti. Okay, so the movie that I want to watch tonight, I just need to edit this and then I'll get it out for early access for my channel members, and I'll be able to just sit down and watch my 1970s horror film and enjoy it. And so I was looking for more 1970s horror, and like I've seen a lot of the big ones like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Alien and things like that. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to rewatch. I want to rewatch a film tonight because none of the other 1970s horror films I fancied at all, and I couldn't find them just available to stream for free in the UK. So I'm going to go with Halloween. I'm just going to watch my copy of Halloween. I've had this Blu-ray for years. It is the 35th anniversary edition. So this is almost like a book, and I really have had this for quite some time. I mean, it came out in 1978, and then plus 35. That's what, 2013? Did this come out in 2013? So at least I don't have to pay to rent this. I can just watch it. And I love Halloween. I love the original Halloween. And I do love some of the sequels as well. Some of them are just like really fun horror films to just watch with popcorn, which I do have. I have some sweet and salty popcorn that I can watch with this. So I want to do that. I know I said I'm going to watch new to me 1970s horror, but this is the one that I want. Honey. Okay, so there is a mismatch between disc and player region codes. Excellente. I do remember back in the day, I think I imported this from America because I just loved the cover of it and stuff. I mean, to be fair, it is on BBC iPlayer, so I'm going to put it on the BBC iPlayer. Unfortunately, oh man. I mean, I love me some physical media, but I need to make sure I get the right region codes. Ugh, never mind. At least I tried. So as I wait for the iconic intro to play, and I will go back and listen to the music because that intro is so iconic. Freaking love Halloween music so much. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy my popcorn. I'm going to watch my film. And I'm going to wrap up this vlog for day 1 through 3 of Summerween. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you tune in for the rest of Summerween as well. There will be 2 more vlogs are coming this week. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments down below as well all you thought about the vlog or the books that I read, or if you have any 1970s recommendations for horror books or films or anything like that, let me know. I will give a huge thank you to my channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my channel membership, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.